crossing. And it was an amazing experience. It really helped us kind of get in the right mindset of how to tackle some of the moments in the film. But we surely wanted to do more than we could have.
And I think it's important for us to state why. Basically, it's a matter of economics. You know, the film, we have a certain amount of money, and Georgia has a tax credit that's very aggressive. It allows us to spend more days shooting the film, spending more time with our actors in Georgia. We look forward to and want to work with the state of Alabama so that they can have a more aggressive tax credit. It allows us to have more days here. And ultimately, we have to serve the story first, and we felt to tell the story was the most important thing, no matter where it was told. And within that, we were able to carve out some money to come here to Selma. Thank you. I'm sorry. Ms. Rose, how are you?
Thank you, Ava. I got to meet you during the Jubilee. My question is probably for Ms. Winfrey. Annie Cooper was very special to me. As a matter of fact, I got a tape of her. The last months of her life, I taped her story, and I promised, I got a copy for you, and I felt bad because I promised her, but I'm not a writer, professional writer. I promised I would write a book, but this is even better because more people look at movies, unfortunately, than look at books. But I guess I'm asking you, why did you choose to play her such an important figure? And while you answer that question, I want to thank all of you. But please recognize so many people like the Lawrentons, Samuel, and their mother and father. But I want to thank you for raising her name. But why did you choose to play her? And I'm hoping that you will come and join us on the bridge in her spirit and march across that bridge with us for the 50th anniversary. But why Miss Annie Cooper? Thank you.
Well, the Boyntons are portrayed in this film, and William Boynton is a major part of this. First of all, so happy to be here. This was my first time coming across the bridge for David and I. It was our first time. Our team's been down here, but it was our first time, and I was welling up on that drive from Montgomery to here, understanding, fully like taking in the spirit of what that march must have been like, and what those 50 miles feeling terrorized must have felt like, and knowing that we stand on the shoulders of that. Every day watching this film come to life, watching it be birthed through our beloved director, Ava DuVernay, who is capturing the spirit and essence of this time on film. I literally was standing out in front of what would have been the courthouse with the sheriff, and Annie Lee Cooper has to hit the sheriff, and thinking how amazing that this director and myself and this producer and this man gets to bring those spirits to life. It's really an incredible thing. So why did I choose Annie Lee Cooper? I didn't want to choose Annie Lee Cooper because I haven't really done that many films, but the films that I've done are pretty memorable for slapping people. So, you told her to beat me. You all know it, I hope. And then last year, everything you have is because of the button. So when I realized, oh my gosh, this is another role and I'm gonna have to slap the sheriff, I said to Dave, I really don't. I can't just get another person. But I decided because of the weight of the history that Annie Lee Cooper carries. For me, she's not just one person. She represents the movement of voting. She represents what it meant to stand in line and be denied not once, not twice, over and over and over again. And when she hit that sheriff, she didn't just hit him for herself. She hit him for everybody. who had been frustrated and who was tired and just didn't want to take it anymore. So that is the reason I said yes. And Ava's slick. She knew I was like wavering. Both David and Ava were saying, come on, it's okay to hit some. And Ava then sent me an article from the Selma newspaper where Miss Cooper was talking about every day at 4 o'clock she watched the Oprah show. I said, you got me. You got me. So that's the final thing.
Thank you. I appreciate all of you, but I just want to tell Oprah, when I went to her studio on the corner of State and Lady years ago, it was my amputee sister who had climbed those steps where your staff hosted us very well. Rudy and Alice were part of your staff, as Diane and several others, and I just wonder where all those people are. That's another talk for another time. But my thinking of that particular time, at that show, you would entertain us in the audience, and you would also talk to us. And you got a chance to talk to my sister and I. And when we said where we were from, Selma, Alabama, although I lived in Milwaukee around Benita Lee and Pat Lee and all the other people for many years, I just happened to mention, I wanted to mention to you that I appreciate the hospitality that you showed us when we were there in your studio. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Hello. I want to actually just make a comment that I want you to know that I'm very prayerful, and I know I'm not the only one, for the film, for the production, for the actors, and I have a feeling we may be looking at the next Roots. Roots. Because so much started here in Selma. My father was pastor of First Baptist. That was where the young people were in the movement at the time. And it was just so much that went on here during that time. I remember going to with meetings in the middle of the night, because you had to meet in the middle of the night for fear you'd be found out. And just so many other things. And one thing I want to say to Ms. Winfrey, I met you in the 90s. I was on one of your first Oprah book club shows. I lived in Chicago from Celestine Prophecy. And then your producers would call sometime and say, we want you to come. And I did that till I moved here in 97. But the one thing I want to tell you is that on the night that Barack Obama was elected and spoke in Grant Park in Chicago that night, I talked to Miss Annie Cooper on the phone, and she told me her story because I, like everybody, thought, that she wanted to be known as the person who knocked down Jim Clark, and she told me a little bit more to the story. But she was a wonderful, wonderful lady. She always wanted to be the president. He came to Selma when he was running, but she didn't.